Do you ever lose your Sewjo? I sort of have, and I'm gonna show you what I've been doing these last days to get it back. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina. This is Lifting Pins and Needles, a channel all about sewing, specifically limitless sewing, no limits. Before getting into the nitty-gritty of this video, I wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that Love Notions is having a back to school sale site-wide, 25% off, and the code is BTS 2019 or back to school 2019. This discount is good through the 9th of August, so it's a full week, and if you've been looking at patterns I've shown you, maybe you want to get them now that the price is a little bit reduced. There is also a Feature Friday pattern today, and it's two patterns actually. You know, Love Notions sometimes has a woman's version and a girl's version. So it's the Trendy Tunic. It's a knit pattern, very easy to sew. And the girls version is just too cute for words. I've been building a stash of little girl patterns whenever they have these sales to make for my nieces. So I'm going to be grabbing this pattern today, the Trendy Tunic for girls. And I've even got a fabric picked out for it. This is a cotton spandex I bought a while back thinking about them. And it's beautiful. Look at this. So I'm going to be making, I hope I can fit them in. My little niece, she's not 1 yet, but she's quite big. I think I can make the size 2 and wait until she can grow into that. And for the oldest, who's 5, I usually make a size 7 or 8 because she's quite tall. My brother, he's 6'4", and my sister-in-law is maybe an inch shorter than me, so they're on the tall side, and their kids are growing like weeds as well. But I'm super excited about that pattern. So grab those on sale for $5 if you like them. My affiliate link, you know, is always down below in the description box. The other cool thing I wanted to let you know about is that my parents are both coming to see us. That is so exciting. They actually lived here in this same place 20 plus years ago. My dad worked in the same university that my husband lectures at. You know, when they say you try to marry someone like your dad, well, let's say they have the same profession, the same degree, well, my dad's retired now, but they actually did the same job. So yeah, my parents lived a few blocks down from here. This is the same place where I used to come and visit when I was in my 20s, when I learned Portuguese, you know, in this same place. And they are really excited to come. They're going to be here for 3 weeks. They are arriving on the 13th of August, and they're going to be here for 3 weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen with the channel and the sewing. I'm going to try and work around that because I'm also going to be showing what I make my mum. But due to time constraints, I might just actually show you what I make her instead of the more produced videos that I usually do when I have my full time at my disposal for this, you know. I hope you understand. But you can also get inspiration of clothes I'm gonna make a woman that is older. My mom is in her 60s. She does have a similar style to mine because I copy her, of course, but a totally different body type. You know, I know how to sew for her. I know her body as well as I know mine because I've been sewing for her since I was a child. So I'm super excited, and I'm going to be trying to get ahead with the baby things because they are going to be taking all the things I make the nieces when they return back to Chile. So I wanted to let you know that that was coming up very soon. And now I'm looking quite cheerful now and quite happy. I haven't been feeling that way the last couple of days. Actually, I think on Tuesday I hit a really low point. I felt stressed, I felt overwhelmed, all to do with sewing, really to do with feeling exhausted. There comes, you know, when you're a creative person, that creativity, that spark sometimes is there. And when you try to force it, it feels really overwhelming not be able to create. That's the type of person I am. I like to create, I like to be inspired, and sometimes just making a pattern as is doesn't give me the same happiness or the same freedom, you know, but I was feeling so down. I even thought I need a month off. I need to not sew for a month to get to regain all this spark and the love I feel for this. You know, I love sewing. It's my world right now that I'm not working. Chatted about it to several of my friends that I was like, I just didn't know what to do. And this has happened in the past. Before I was on YouTube, I would spend maybe a month without even looking at my machine. But I am heavily committed to this channel. I really can't allow myself to take a month off and not put content up. You know, I've worked so hard for this channel and I don't just want to leave it, you know, unless family circumstance forces me to do that, like when my husband has surgery or things like that. But otherwise, I do want to keep putting up content. So I just really need to feel good again. Part of losing the Sewjo, as I said, was exhaustion from sewing too much or like doing too much, editing too much, I don't know. And the other thing is I turned my sewing room into a mess. So I usually keep it super neat. It's always very clean, like I never have loose threads on the floor. I am constantly cleaning the floor. It's white. You can see any little thread, you can see it. So it's always very clean. But certain areas got extremely messy, and especially the fabric and the way I was storing my PDF patterns, if you would call what I was doing storing. It's shameful, and I have been asked multiple times by some of you, how do you store your patterns? I would love to see that. And I'm like, I'm so ashamed, like you would not like to see. And I'll put a few pictures here of the before and how my patterns got to. I had started an excellent system last year that I continued until the end of the year when I traveled in the summer to Chile to work and to be with family. And then came back, I started getting on a roll of sewing and I didn't store or tidy my patterns ever again. Like from February to now, almost 6 months. And there were piles and piles of patterns everywhere. You're gonna see where I had a lot of patterns and I had other patterns in here in just some of these shelves, just stacked up and just terrible. That really affects me. Like I am very minimalist in my surroundings of how I like things to look. I like to have bare walls. I like everything in there. I don't want to see my threads. I don't want to see my patterns, my stash, nothing. I'm actually in my sewing room now. I want everything bare. I want an empty desk to cut fabric on. I want my table where I have my 2 machines, two little tins you probably see where I keep needles and my presser feet and my serger, and I want nothing else visible. So having patterns everywhere and papers everywhere and random pieces of some patterns here and there, it was just driving me insane. So I have just finished tidying up. My hair's all wet. I just had a shower because I felt like full of like dust all over me and my hands felt disgusting, and I had a shower. Everything in there is super neat now. And I'm gonna show you finally how I store my PDF patterns. It's not fancy, it's not pretty, but for me it works and it's practical and it's fast and I can just do it, and I'm not gonna be spending a lot of resources in creating these storage solutions because I don't plan to. I always think I'm gonna move, and I know at some point I'm gonna move to another country, and I'm not gonna invest in pretty storage solutions because I know I'm gonna have to get rid of them. That's just my life, you know. I've never actually settled. I never actually feel that I've settled into a house for a long time. And always in my heart, I feel that thing, like at any point, my husband's gonna tell me, oh, we're gonna move to like X country. You know, it's life. And that sort of does affect the way I store my patterns. So stop blabbing, Karina, and let's hop into what I've done. I somehow let this happen. This is my ironing board and there's like a few shelves there that I might like to put clothes or things, but I end up putting the patterns I'm using there, and then somehow that pile happened. I'm very unhappy with it. It makes the room really messy, and when I'm pressing clothes, ironing, I bump with the cables onto the paper and I've got to get these sorted into the boxes where I usually keep all my patterns in a semi-organized, well, not organized, but tidy manner. So I'm going to take all that pile of paper, put it on my table and show you what my pattern boxes look like. And I want to improve them. I have these 2 sturdy cardboard boxes we used when we moved. They're very handy. They fit right into the wardrobe. And I just use that. I have no interest in purchasing other storage solutions. And plus, this works just as well. All the PDF patterns, I just put them into clear plastic sleeves. These are the most inexpensive ones you can find. And yesterday I bought more. So these are just the most basic, thinnest, flimsiest plastic sleeves that have like those little perforations to put in folders. Usually meant to just put like one paper in here, one document or whatever, but I use this to store a whole pattern, you know, a whole PDF pattern. And I've been doing this since I got here to this house in Brazil. In Bolivia, you don't want to know where I kept them. They were just like in a room on the floor in a pile. So they are in no particular order. Look, there's a Fiore skirt from Closet Case. When I started this last year, I was a little bit even more motivated, and I would print a page with the title, you know, the brand, the size I made, and the picture of the pattern. And look, at the back here of this box, when I started, I had this like cardboard divider, and these are my patterns, my self-drafted or modified. And even when, like, that's a picture of me, because this is a Princess Seam blouse self-drafted. Look, another picture of me, cloned blouse, candy blazer, small little collar. That's a cloned pattern. This is a bodice that is self-drafted with a square neckline. That's the dress I made, so I have that as reference. Cloned cami gray sleeveless. So these are like, I think the ones at the back of the pile are the most precious ones to me. Clone denim jacket. This is my bodice, Princess Seam strappy self-drafted fitted bodice. And an example of a dress I've used it on. And look, it's just little pieces of paper in there. This is my front skirt hack Pinterest. Now, I don't have myself here. I have the inspiration. I showed this video last year, and it's my mostly worn denim skirt. So these patterns here at the back have a lot of value because they're things that I have created from my blog or modifying other patterns, and it's all my creative stuff is at the back here. All the thing that is at the front are PDF patterns, and I recently had to start a second box because I couldn't fit them all in. I now want to take this a step further, and I have made little cardboard things with A, B, C, D, E, and I will be slotting these in there. And these are going to organize pattern designer names, so not pattern names as such. These are the Super G tights from Green Star Creations. I have just finished making these leggings and I'm done. So I'm just going to fold it as small as I can. I just aim for this actually to fit in here. I'm not that fussy about folding or having it extra neat or extra flat. You know, I'd rather be sewing than spending a lot of time doing this. And you know, in the past I used to print it out and do all that, but life is too short, and whatever time I have, I want to spend sewing actually and designing or pattern hacking or drafting. And this organizing bit, I just want it done. I want it effective. It doesn't have to be pretty. So I just quickly jot down on recycled paper. These are all recycled papers. They've been printed for other things. I don't need that anymore. So very basic. Size large, Green Style, that's the brand and the name. I'll just pop that in the front there and I'm done, and I can chuck this into the box. I'm gonna do that with all that pile of patterns, and then I'm gonna start sorting out by alphabetical thing. I'm done and I feel so happy I have finally done this. It's been at the back of my mind to finish. So on this box I have from A to I think, and then from L to V. Some letters are missing because I don't have pattern designers with that letter. So there's like J and K I think are missing, you know. So now it's so much easier. If I just know what I want, I just come to the letter. A, I've got the Monarch jacket by Ali Olsen. You know, B, I've got some Berta that have been PDF. C, I have several designers in C. Actually, I didn't know it was going to be that common. So I've got Christine Haynes, Chalk and Notch. This is the orchid midi, the fringe dress top. And then I've got a chunk here of cashmerette. All this is cashmerette. The holly oak that I've just made. Then comes a few closet case patterns here, and then some Colette patterns. And I actually have a picture of myself in this. This is a macaron dress by Colette, and I only use the bodice, and I have the alterations I made. And that is actually the dress I made using this bodice. I've also got the Moneda dress. And it says the bodice only. And these are things I packed to come to Brazil from Bolivia. I knew I didn't want to bring the skirt pieces because I can just easily draft that, and the only thing I was actually using from this pattern was the bodice, and I've used it multiple times. G, I have Green Style Creations Super G type. I've also got the Power Bra that I haven't put it in a little folder yet because I'm actually cutting that out now. H, I've got Helen's Closet Blackwood cardigan, and all the rest of the box is I, and I don't know if you can guess what pattern company starts with I that I saw multiple patterns of. One of my top 3, I would say, pattern companies, and it's Itch to Stitch. So there are many here that I've made, and I've mentioned I have ideas to make more in different styles, and I really want to do that. This one I haven't made yet. I've printed it out recently, the Uvita top, Itch to Stitch. This is a free pattern. I've made the Mountain View jeans already. The Bond shirt I've made. I haven't made the Lisbon cardigan yet, but it's already printed out, ready to go. Same as the Mila shirt, it's already printed. I still haven't made it. I did make the Chai dress, and I've shown that I think like 2 months ago on the channel. The Kawaii top, I love this one. I need to make it a dress. Actually, I'm gonna leave out the ones I want to make like now. This is my most recent one, the Kosice top and dress. I love this pattern so much. The Crystal Cove, I made this one last year. There's a picture of myself when I was a bit more organized. So I'm gonna leave this one out because I do want to do this again, and I want to modify the top bit there to widen those straps. The Montana shirt, I've made 2 already, hacked sleeveless. And I used the tie front version. I really like this pattern. It's not the last time I'm gonna reach for this, even though I've made it twice already. The Melrose top and dress, oh my gosh, I've made so many of these already, like 4. This is another one I want to revisit soon because it's so easy. The Isidro top is a neat pattern, and I have lengthened it into a dress. I've worn that dress, I can't even count the time, so I need to make another one. I have the perfect fabric, so I'm gonna leave that out. The Kalispell dress, this is more like an involved project. I would have to be super motivated and have a lot of fabric, but I do want to make it again, and I have made it into a skirt. Like I used the skirt pieces and just made a skirt out of it with linen. I love that. This is another one I want to make again, Samara pants. These are the extra wide pants. I know I need 2.3 meters for that, so I need to be on the lookout for appropriate fabric I can buy that amount of. Dana Point top. Oh, this has got to be the most flattering thing I've done. I made this one last year, and all the features of this are so flattering. The fit was so good, and I want to make it into a dress, so I'm going to leave that here. Those are my Itch to Stitch patterns. I have others in digital form, but I haven't printed them out yet. But these 3 I want to revisit like now. They're not hard to make. I already know what size to make. Everything's done. I don't have to think. I just have to mindlessly sew. So the other box has from L onwards, and look at all this chunk of L. And guess what pattern company I sew a lot from. I do pattern tests for Itch to Stitch, and that's why, you know, the amount of stuff. And plus the ones that I've purchased myself. And Love Notion's the same. I've purchased many and I've tested many, so hence the huge stack. Now these are ones I need to assemble. The patterns are already printed out, but I need to assemble them. And these are going to be for my nieces, the Blissful Blazer and the Boyfriend Cardigan. I've got the Duet trousers, Sonata dress, the Willow wrap top, the lyric. This is my fave. And actually, I want to make skirts from this dress skirt pattern. So I'm going to leave that out too. The summer basics. I so want to make this again, and I so want to have the knit to make it in. I've been looking for a good, nice, lightweight knit to make this, but I haven't found one yet. It's hard to find the right knits here. Oh, actually, I've got a few really nice ITYs coming over from Minerva Crafts. They will take a while to get here, but I think this is the pattern I'm going to use for those blog posts. Ravinia skirt. This is a long maxi stripy one I just made the other day, and oh, I just love this skirt. And I want to make that control panel, so I'll take that out. Tessa sheath dress. I've made actually a block from this pattern, a knit block. I've fitted it to me and I can use that multiple times. I have my cardboard blocks as such in a different place in our wardrobe, and they're like straight, they're not folded or anything because it's cardboard. Melody Dolman, I love that. Oh, the Summer K, those tulip, that tulip hem is amazing. Margaret Peplum I made into a dress instead because I had the right fabric for it. Look how chunky this packet is, and then they all fit into these plastic sleeves. Sybil Illusion skirts. This is the one that has 7 skirts in there, and all the pattern pieces are in there. Allegro pants, short skirt. All this is in this. That's why it's so fat. Hip Hop Tank, Love Notions. Olympia dress. This is a neat dress I made in a red snake print that was nuts crazy. Harmony, I made this one with a stripy play. I've been having a lot of fun with stripes this year. I actually search for striped fabric when I'm out shopping. Lotus Blossom, I made this into like an activewear top. I love that. Rhapsody blouse has got to be one of the top favorites ever. I have here Megan Nielsen. Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans. I've made several thousands of these. I think I've made these 5 times. These are the ones that are for non-stretch fabrics. I make size 16. I think I've made all the views but the skinny leg view. I love that pattern. Love it so much. The Ash jeans, I've made one only, and the reason is because I haven't found the right stretch denim that I like that's going to be soft and nice. But if I do, I definitely want to make these again. The fit is so good. Here are the Tanya culottes by Megan Nielsen. I still haven't made this because it's so fabric hungry, but it's ready to be made if I want to. I mean, the pattern's done. I've got the Pier and Palace Camptown jacket and the Hannah Tank by Pattern Scout. For the R, I've only got Republique du Chiffon, the polar top. And for the S is a huge chunk as well because, okay, let's say I have top 4 pattern companies that are my faves. So Itch to Stitch, Love Notions, I would say Megan Nielsen, and Style Arc. I love them. All the rest I like as well, but I would rank these in my top 4 in no particular order. So Style Arc, whenever they have a sale, I'm on there. I'm always on there to get the monthly freebie if I like it. And just, I love the fit. I love everything about these patterns. And they do suit me because I can usually just sew a straight size. So the fact that they sell them in single sizes mostly doesn't really affect me that much. The Marilyn dress and top, I have actually 2 of these. That is because I made a size 12. I made a red top in this size and it was a bit snug. Let's say I just was a bit excited about doing a 12 when I should have done a 14. So I do want to make this again, and so I printed it again in the size 14. You know, these come in separate files, so I actually have 2 there of this one. And the Liliana blazer that I did a collaboration with Claire from Penguin and Pear. I did significant hacks to this, and I do want to return and make this again because it was so nice to make after I shaped it and modified it. I even redrafted a 2-piece sleeve for this one because it came with a really boxy, loose, normal sleeve, like with 1 piece. So it was a lot of work. I needed to use that again. And then all these here are So Over It patterns. This one is not called a kimono anymore. They named it the Sylvia robe. So I've got to change that there. The Doris dress, I only have the bodice. It's the only thing that I would like to make again maybe. The Kate blouse, this is Work to Weekend ebook. I have it printed out, but I haven't made it yet. The Carrie trousers were not a great fit. I don't think I'll make these again. Same as the Camille pants. I think I have better pants that I can play with again rather than these ones. This is a pattern I do like from So Over It, the Ultimate Culottes. I think I can cope with that low crotch as long as the fabric is really drapey. In a more structured fabric, it would look terrible. Also, it needs to be a print. I think a heavier, solid fabric, that low crotch this has, would look terrible. But I've made it in drapey, like rayon and with print. I think it looks okay and it fits nice, it's comfortable, and I find it flattering. So this experience was positive. I would recommend doing a big cleanup. It actually helped me see what I have, and I've got patterns on the side now that I want to work with, like now. I'm actually going to leave these in the front here before the L, so I know that that's where they are. And I'm going to get cracking sewing. I mean, I've been lacking inspiration, and this really did help me. This is actually a bedroom, so it's got good cupboard space. Look at all that cupboard space, and all this has got my stash, supplies, everything. And in that little space there, well, I've got jars there that I use as pattern weights. Those are my pattern weights. And that is where the pattern boxes go, one on top of each other. They fit, they're organized, I can pull them out, they're very handy to me. Ta-da! All done, so neat, so tidy, and I'm so happy, and my mind, my brain is so happy too. I hope this was useful for you. I know if you're just starting out and you don't have many patterns, what I did might seem a bit extreme, like to put them in order, in alphabetical order, but this is the way I found works for me. I didn't know I had so many printed patterns already. You know, if you've been watching from the Bolivia times, I wasn't able to purchase patterns because we didn't have a credit card. In Bolivia, the bank never gave us one because we were foreigners, and the account that we had couldn't be linked to PayPal, and it was just a mess. All the patterns I used at the beginning of the channel were actually gifted to me by two friends, very generous. They saw my channel and they gave me these patterns, you know, and that's how I was able to show you some patterns at the beginning. But since we've moved here, since last year, I have been on a binge, and don't tell me I need to go on a pattern buying fast, because I'd been on that for years. I've already done that. I'm not doing any fast. And I'm always looking out for sales and things, and I do print out patterns, and I do make multiples. I am in the team of multiple versions. If I've taken the time to get something to fit right and I love the way it looks, I do really want to see how it looks in other types of fabrics, in other types of prints. I want to hack them. I want to make good use of my patterns. So I'm not going to just make them once. And that's why I do store them. I think now that I've gone through them, there are maybe 2 or 3 I'm going to remove from there and get rid of. Because I did mention when I was showing you, there are a few that I wasn't ever going to make again because I didn't really like them. The other reason I've cheered myself up as well is because I am going to the Mega Artesanal, which is a huge craft fair. I attended for the first time last year. It was an amazing experience. It's in Sao Paulo, a city about 2.5 hours from where I live. And it's in a huge like conference event center. It's just massive. And this year I'm taking Martin, my son. I have to because my husband is not here. He's been traveling out of Brazil for a few weeks already. And hence the reason I've been down already. You know, my son got sick, my husband's away, I lost my Sewjo. You know, it's not always easy, but deep down I'm a really positive person, and doing this tidy up really helped me. If you are enjoying the thrice weekly content on this channel, consider watching a few more videos packed full of tips and tricks for your sewing. Please subscribe, like this video, tap on the bell to get notified when I upload a new one. Bye! What can I do?